What is this? It's nice and round, and it kind of adds a cute touch to the hallway.
It's an emergency alarm. Please don't touch it.
Emergency alarm?
Look right here. There's a notice. Please press button only in case of emergency. The button sends an alarm to the entire ship, signaling the engines to temporarily stop.
It makes the engine stop. Maybe...
What are you doing? Get away from that!
What? How is what's happening to me right now not an emergency?
That clearly isn't the kind of emergency they mean. If you pushed that button and caused panic, we'd have a real emergency on our hands.
I wish I could just stop everything happening to me right now.
Please don't inconvenience an entire ship of people just because you're upset.
What was that voice just now? It came from inside this cabin.
That could only be the tearful, innocent scream of a maiden in distress.
Out of the way, you lot! I shall kick down that door post-haste.
Mr. Holmes!
Right now, I am absolutely brimming with the intense desire to kick down this door.
But please, stay your leg for just a moment. This door appears to be unlocked.
Seriously? Well then, where exactly am I supposed to vent this urge to kick something?
That aside, let's go inside. This is an emergency. There's no time to waste.
What do you want with me?
That Western gentleman appears to be Russian. Excuse me, we just heard what sounded like a young woman's scream coming from this room.
Scream? Stop your silly talk. As you can see, I am the only one in this cabin. No one else.
He's right. This old guy is the only person in here. But what on earth was that scream then?
Leave now. All of you. Now!
Pardon me, Mr. Grimesby Roylott, I presume?
Yes, I am Roylott. Who are you?
Sherlock Holmes, the one and only. Surely my reputation precedes me.
Never heard of him.
I am the great detective. My name adorns magazine covers all across the British Empire. And so, I am certainly no manner of suspicious individual, as you can see.
He's using that magazine like some kind of business card.
Detective. Even more suspicious.
We are certain that we heard a scream originating from this very room. It is readily apparent that no one is hidden within your wardrobe, therefore... If it is not too much of a bother, may I open that small trunk over there?
Stop this silliness! This trunk is very, very small. You think there's a person inside?
Well, if recent trends indicate anything, packing people into luggage is quite popular.
Please stop looking at me.
Did you see that, Naruhodō?
Yes, I think I did. The trunk moved. Didn't it?
All of you, leave, now. If you do not, I call the sailors.
Grimesby Roylott. He stayed in the cabin directly next to Asogi's. This Russian man has to be hiding something.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. We must find some sort of lead before that sailor returns.
Excuse me, Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
Please. Just Mr. Holmes is fine.
That's not any less formal. Mr. Holmes, what are you doing in there anyway?
No, not much. Just making myself at home.
At home?
I'm just passing the time, imagining how it must have felt to be crammed in here. Waiting for the moment when the two of you beseech the aid of a great detective.
What?
Well now, it would seem that time has finally come. Am I mistaken?
Well, he's certainly not wrong.
Now, look over there. That Russian gentleman, Mr. Roylott, is clearly hiding something. And what would be the best countermeasure against a Russian who's hiding something? The answer, of course, would be the truth. Indeed, that doesn't apply to Russians alone.
Right.
But I wonder what that Russian man would do if his secret were to be exposed. Wouldn't it be interesting to find out?
I would love to, Mr. Holmes.
Then allow me to show you something intriguing. Something only a great detective can do. A great detective's great deduction. As you can clearly see, here we have a classic suspicious-looking Russian.
What?
Sometimes I wonder to myself, are suspicious people inherently Russian? Or are Russian people inherently suspicious?
I don't think either one is the case.
And if I may add, Mr. Holmes, no matter how much the beard and the dark glasses might seem to suggest it, I'm not sure they're grounds enough to outright label someone as suspicious.
Shh, quiet now.
Why do you look at me like this?
I see. Yes, I understand now.
What?
At last, the truth becomes clear to me. There is no room for doubt. Now then, Mr. Roylott, I have arrived at 2 conclusions.
What do you mean?
First, conclusion number 1. Your true identity. Simply put, you are a villain. You were just about to cut short something very important to you using those scissors. Am I mistaken?
Huh.
On to conclusion number 2. At this very moment, you have been caught red-handed in the midst of a nefarious deed. By now, you must have been shaking under that beard, panicking over if you've already been found out. Am I mistaken?
Here it comes, Naruhodō, one of Mr. Holmes's great deductions.
Great deductions?
Mr. Holmes has a truly incredible talent. With only one look at a person, he can learn almost everything about them.
How in the world? No way. That's impossible.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I've read that book countless times. I can't believe I'm about to hear one of his great deductions firsthand. Oh, truly, it's like a dream come true.
I can't believe it. Mr. Roylott just turned white as a sheet. Somehow, It looks like those two conclusions hit the mark.
How could...
How could you possibly know that? Is that what you were about to say? Very well. It's time for all to be revealed. How indeed did this great detective before you arrive at these two conclusions? Come along now, shall we embark together upon this journey of deduction? What I mean to say is that I'm asking you to tag along with my reasoning.